So I get out of the elevator and I start walking down the hallway, and at the end of the hallway I see this creature. It's like this, maybe about a yard and a half high. Its skin is like this really kind of moist looking mucus type stuff, like you would think it would be liquid if you touched it, but it wasn't liquid. It had two legs, like big thick bird legs with three pronged toes with these big talons on each one. It didn't have any arms, and it had this flat face. It almost looked like its whole body was some kind of a tube. And it had this flat face, two little eyes that, I don't know if they were blind or not, a little nose that just sucked in air. It didn't look like it was able to smell anything. And this big, thick, round mouth, maybe about 3 inches in diameter. And I asked my neighbor, what the fuck is that thing? And he said, oh, those came out from the split. And I said, what split? He said there was a group of scientists doing some kind of energy experiments trying to find the God particle in a particle accelerator, and they split open the universe into an alternate universe, and these creatures kind of spilled out, and now these creatures are all over the earth. And I asked him, why don't they just round them up and kill them or something? And he said, well, they're trying to figure that out. They don't know what the laws are. And the way these creatures eat is they just kind of go up to these small objects, and it turns out they can eat anything. They just, as long as it's big enough to get sucked into its mouth, it's got like this long neck, like a long throat, and they have just an extremely strong digestive system. But the thing of it is their digestive system doesn't start until the object is in their stomach. So if they start sucking against something, nothing will happen to the thing they're sucking against, unless maybe they give it a big hickey or something. But unless an object gets into its stomach, it won't get digested. And so these creatures have this built-in kind of mechanism to let them know if they're actually getting something down their throat or not. And if they don't get anything down their throat, they just let go and move off to something else. And they suck up little birds. They've been found on golf courses eating golf balls, and they're just kind of like these big slugs, but they kind of hop around. They look like slugs, but they have the bird legs, and they just kind of hop around. And there's millions of them. They're everywhere. And so if you get your arm stuck, if you happen to have a long arm and it fits all the way down into its stomach, it will digest the end of your hand. But the thing of it is when it digests your hand, it kind of cuts your hand off, and the digestive juices in their gut is really strong, but it's also kind of sterile, so it'll give you like a sterile hand amputation if you get your arm stuck in its mouth. It'll be painful as fuck, but you won't get infected and you won't bleed to death, because it kind of solders or cuts off the circulation of the blood at the end as it sucks off your hand. So if you have a bunch of trash or something, and you can break the trash up into small pieces smaller than a couple inches in diameter, these things will just show up and just suck it all in their stomach and digest it. No one knows yet how they deal with their waste, or like their body waste, because so far no one's been able to find any of their feces or their leavings. They just kind of hop around and suck stuff up. Some of the scientists postulate that when they suck objects into their stomach, their waste is deposited into another dimension or another alternate reality, and they're still trying to study these creatures. So if you see one, just don't stick your arm down its throat, and if it happens to suck right on your eyeball, it is possible that it will suck your eyeball right out of your socket, which would be kind of painful. So be careful of getting too close to their face. They're dangerous.